I
All right. Hey, welcome. If you have landed on this YouTube channel, welcome. My name is Shea Petaja. I'm with Dr. Jeff Wulfman, and
Hello.
hello. And we are talking about the Centropix Kloud Mat, which, Jeff, you are not my doctor, just to clarify. You're a family friend, and you were here for Christmas break last year. I was not feeling well. I was fighting something. I didn't know what. And your wife said, "Hey, why don't you come over and try our mat?" And I was like, "What mat?" Um, but my energy was so low. I was having a rough time. So I got on your mat. Now, mind you, I'm someone who I love the health and wellness space. So I'm pretty open. I've tried a lot of things. Very rarely do I have immediate results to something, but I laid on the mat and then I sat up, and the mat only takes 15 minutes. These are only short 15-minute sessions. So I laid on the mat, got up, and I was like, do I feel better? Or am I making this up? So I came back a second time that week to try it again. And I bought a mat. So I've been using the mat since January, and just tell people what it is. You're so great at the science side of this. I know the
Yeah,
experiential side quite well, but
yeah,
what is a PEMF mat, and why are they calling this a PEMA mat?
yeah, yeah. Thanks, Shay. So your response, like what just happened and how is this possible? I actually had a similar response from a physician and medical standpoint too, because this is working with things in a different way than I had my career. I'm a functional medicine, done holistic medicine, all kinds of things, and nutrition and herbs and all those kinds of things, trying to help people from a biochemical standpoint. And it took me a while to figure out how is this possible? Because I would see some dramatic changes, sometimes immediate, and then other times also progressive over time. And what I started realizing is if we look at what this is doing, it's a pulsed electromagnetic field that is running through this mat that you're laying on. And it's basically energy transfer. So just like you set your cell phone on a wireless charger, there's a field that's running through that stimulates that molecules and electrons in the battery that charges it up, and then that can do work. You tell your phone what you want to do, and it now can do it. Well, the body knows what to do, and it needs the building blocks. So that's like the stuff you take and all that, but it's got to have the energy to do it.
Mm,
And it's very intelligent. But if it doesn't have the charged batteries and energy, it can't do it. So it's basically energy transfer. And the
yeah.
reason that I was aware of PMF for a long time, but I never engaged with it myself because I did not feel the results were strong enough for me. Like I'd hear an anecdote here and an anecdote there, but I was like, ah, and it seemed kind of sort of unsophisticated until now. And so that's one of the misconceptions that I think is important for your listeners to know is like people say, oh, I heard of quote PMF. Oh, I heard of that, or I tried one, or I had one, as though they're all the same. That's not the case. They are very, very different. And this is a next evolution of that technology. And why it can get greater results is because older PMF devices are a very narrow frequency, simple waveform, and then with a narrow band. So like it's like one instrument versus a whole orchestra. Whereas
Okay.
the cloud now is ultra broadband, and so it is affecting that much more of the body. And the calculations have actually been done showing that in a 15-minute session, the cloud gives 50, as in 50, more activation impulses than anything else on the market. So if you think
Yeah.
like you're setting your cell phone on I don't know, an old charger, place this on this charger for 24 hours before using. And then it's like, okay, yeah, it's at 70% versus place this on the charger for 15 minutes. Wow, 95%.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
And I'm glad that you bring that up because I have used PEMF mats in like a chiropractor's office or other practitioner's office. And I'm like, I didn't feel anything and I didn't have any lasting results. So I never thought that they worked. I'm
Yeah.
sure that they have and they do, and the research is out
Yes.
there.
Yes.
But what the Centropix Kloud Mat is doing is they have really hyper focused and amplified the ability for this mat to do its work. So 15 minutes twice a day, once a
Yeah.
day is
Yeah.
enough. Now people ask me, oh, will I feel anything when I lay on the mat? Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
And my clients who use it regularly, they say, oh, it like sneaks up on you. Like I may not feel it in the moment, but like later in the day, I have more energy. Or when I slept last night, I was out. So
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
more of like people either seem to feel it in the moment if their body needs it, or it kind of just like sneaks up on them.
Wow, Shea, you've got a good feel for this. For this.
Well,
You're
I've been
right.
using it. Yeah, I've been using it now going on, it'll be 8 months. And
Mm-hmm.
the results that I've seen, like whenever I get my B's checked, right? They're pretty low and I have a hard
You mean
time,
you mean your like vitamin B
vitamin B,
levels?
my
Uh-huh.
vitamin B
Yeah.
level, I have a hard time getting it up. Like it just, but I saw that increase. And that was a mystery and kind of a shock to me because I wasn't taking extra supplements.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So
and
sorry to interrupt. I see this with my clients. So people who are on regimens to try and feel better, like supplement-based regimens and so forth, herbs and nutrition, that kind of thing. But they're not improving anymore. And then they try changing this supplement, that supplement, do this, and it's like, and when they don't change what they're taking at all, but they add the cloud charge underneath it, then all of a sudden they respond the way you would hope they would, because the issue wasn't that they didn't have the right herb combination and magnesium and the CoQ10 and the this and the glutathione and the
sure.
all the stuff. It's that there wasn't the charge for the body to actually respond to it. So it makes my job much easier because people respond now.
Yeah. And it's nice to see like the facts, right? Like I could tell I feel better, but it's nice to
Mhm.
see the blood work. Another response that I've gotten is friends who've had injuries or surgeries. I've used the mini mat and wrapped their knee in that or shoulder. And like you can see that the body's rushing to that spot to help heal it.
Mhm.
And then they have more mobility the next day. So
Yes.
explain that. Like, what is that?
How like exactly like how is that
Yeah,
possible? I had
yeah.
some similar questions, but
Okay.
so yeah, so there's the maxi, which is the full body pad, and there's the mini, which you can use for focal applications. And like you said, someone who has had, bad inflammation in the knee or a recent surgery or some area that they're trying to heal, and you bring that focused, and each time you fold the mat, it magnifies the signal. And so you put that in one area. How could they feel better? Because I've had people stand up and their eyes are like, and you can
Yeah,
see their mind going, what the heck? How is this possible? So there are
right.
immediate effects, and then there are domino effects that continue downstream with continued use. So like immediate effects that occur is just increased blood flow and oxygen delivery. And
Yeah.
so, so it's like sometimes people feel warmth, but this does not create any heat at all. The
No.
warmth is that the blood vessels are opening up. And so you're
Okay.
getting, and you got to have good oxygen delivery and blood flow for the immune system to get there, for oxygen, for detox, all that stuff. So some of those immediate effects can be on the basis of that. And then the progressive effects are the healing response that continues to go forward because now got this energy for it.
Well, and that brings up another point. So people say, wow, this is quite an investment. Why would I buy one when I can just use yours on occasion? And I think there's something to, if you can, the daily use, the 15 minutes.
Yeah.
At minimum.
Yeah.
and really you should only be using it twice a day
Yeah.
at max.
Yeah.
So what I've done is use one setting. So there's 5 settings. The 5 settings have 5 different volumes of intensity. And I have had to play around with which one suits me better based on the time of day or how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
So I have noticed, like, if I'm really amped up and I can feel my body just like wanting to get a headache or something, I will lay on the number 2 setting midday. And it just takes my system and like calms it down into a balancing state. I don't know how else to explain it. And it's not overly dramatic for me, although for some people I've had them use it and it is. So
Yes.
it just depends on
Yes.
the person. And I think owning one is where you see the benefits of using it daily.
Yes, yes. And so that is like, so I see sort of 2 categories of effect. One is this thing we've been talking about, molecular activation, powers the self-healing response for everything your body needs, to do to heal and thrive and be resilient. The other one is coherence. So your nervous system will sort of come into alignment with what it's exposed to. And so and that's what you're experiencing on that, like program 2 or 4, is this very gentle aligning signal. And so the nervous system, your sympathetic, parasympathetic, all that stuff kind of comes into balance. And that's the rest, digest. And I've learned from you, like when you told me, like, oh, when my head starts to go, I go program 2 about intensity level 2 or 3. And that really, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Thank you, Shea. And I actually tell people that now as an example of, like, because that's a neurologic imbalance scenario. And so that's where that entrainment can be super helpful.
Yeah, and I always tell people, hey, when you're done with the mat, before and after, drink water. Water is like essential to how we function human beings. We're chronically dehydrated as it is, most people. So it's not gonna, like, drink some water, help stuff move.
You need to provide an exit point for release toxins, because that's your body's detoxing all the time. We're exposed to all kinds of stuff. And so this will increase your body's ability to dump it, and you got to give your body a way for it to go out. So that's where, staying hydrated is good. And like just for the listeners, if you go to Shea's Centropix site, which is at the bottom of this thing, and watch the video, there's a video of human cells and how they respond to this signal. It's like, magnify that times your whole body. And it's like, I want my cells doing that all the time.
It's just so cool. And I participated in the 400-person study last winter. And you traveled and got to go hear this live about the results. Can you quickly talk about that?
Well, first you have to pronounce the country that it was in.
Oh, Liechtenstein.
Good.
All right, good. That's good.
Yeah, so just a month ago or so, I went to headquarters in Liechtenstein and got to hear the results, which I couldn't take any pictures of or anything like that because they're not published yet. But verbally, I got to see them. So it's basically 400 people, like Shea. They bought the cloud. It showed up at their house. They did a survey before she got it, and then 6 weeks later, and this was like 400 people who did this, which I love because it wasn't in a research setting where they're calling people and having them come in and do all this stuff, because that doesn't translate always to real life. So it's just real life. How do these people do? 6 weeks. It blew my mind. Sleep, pain, fatigue, energy, ability to function daily in life, mood, cognition. It's really, I was like, wow, because I've seen a lot of studies and a lot of stuff come and go. And the cool thing is this is fairly universal. It doesn't matter what your quote diagnosis is or what your symptom complex is. It's like a universal root support. I'm a root cause guy. Like, what's the root cause? But you got to have the root support, and that's what this does.
Yeah. Awesome. So the people who are watching can go ahead, check out the link. What's awesome is Centropix, they've discovered you via these YouTube videos, which is awesome. And so you're on their website, explaining.
Oh yeah, there's a couple of videos of me on the website. So there's a new health professionals tab at the top of Shea's URL. And so that's like a little bit more focused for people in that space. There's a little 4-minute video of me there. There's also just a purely informational page, info.centropix.com.
Mhm.
And there's like a 45-minute webinar that I did on there, plus some other information. So that's another. So if people want more information other than that's on your website, they can go to info.centropix.com and check that out there as well.
I love it. Hey, you know, we need all the support we can get these
Heck
days.
yeah.
I mean, the foundational stuff is amazing, being able to
Yep.
sleep and feel better and make
Yeah.
your day, kind of put your battery on a charger.
Yeah, I won't go without it. And just for reference point, I'm not one of these people that has 75 devices in my house. And like, this is the one that I have and that I use on a regular basis. Yeah.
Same. And I've been letting my clients use it if they want to. And it's funny. They're like, did you bring the mat today?
Of course.
It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. So
Mhm.
thanks again for your time. We'll do more of these videos because
Let's
I
do
know
it.
that the research is coming out. There's a lot more information coming out. So we want to keep people in the loop. And for those who have bought it and need the reminder, they can jump on here too. So thanks.
Yeah. All right. Great to be with you, Shea.
You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.